Hello, my name is Jamie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Unlike any other YouTube channel that showcases Pokemon Go PvP content, mine exclusively showcases Shadow Pokemon. So, if you're into that type of content, I'd appreciate if you could like and subscribe.
So, let's get into today's video. I hope everyone had a fantastic community day. I personally didn't play too much as I had a few Christmas and other commitments like work party, etc. So I didn't get to play too much, but I did make sure I evolved 3 different Shadow Charizards. I've got one for Great League, one for Ultra League, and a 96 IV that I will be using in the Master Premier Classic. So I got the Dragon Breath from Evolution. I invested the Elite TM into Blast Burn, so we've got a Double Legacy Shadow Charizard. We're running double tanks in the back, so we've got Double Legacy Lapras on Ice Shard, Ice Beam and Surf. And we've got Shadow Snorlax operating as the Seed Switch with Lick, Body Slam and Superpower. So the idea of this team is a standard ABB team, leading a flyer, switching to Snorlax, hoping to draw out the counter user, giving Lapras a good chance at sweeping endgame. We are going to showcase one full set and then just some fun battles that I had, showcasing the power of this Shadow Charizard. These were the very first battles I ever did, so there is a few misplays, etc. But overall I did go positive with the team. So, getting into game 1. We pick up a lead against Registeel. We obviously are hitting for resisted with Dragon Breath, but we also resist all of their charge moves. They switch out into Talonflame, and you will notice I throw this move in the middle of the Incinerate animation. You might be wondering why I do that. It's because this Dragon Claw will register now. I can switch and catch the move on Snorlax. If I threw on the CMP, I'll be unable to switch out. So we're going to tank this Flame Charge on the Snorlax. They throw immediately, so once again this is just a Flame Charge. I will survive. I know my IVs very well on this Snorlax. It is a regular on the channel, and I will get to this last minute Body Slam before the Incinerate takes us out. So now the opponent is forced to decide, do they want to shield or do they want to let it go down? They shield it up. This is great for us because we can now shield once with Charizard and completely commit to the farm down. I don't think anything in this meta wants to see a loaded Charizard. We unfortunately don't get a move through, but that's alright. We're still going to be able to Dragon Breath down as we are resisting these Incinerates, even though they are triple boosted. They're not doing too much, and we managed to farm down. Let's see what they come in with. They come in with a Swampert, so the play here is going to be to catch the resisted Hydro Cannon on Lapras. I chip it with a Dragon Claw, and now just for science, we're going to see how much does this resisted Blast Burn do. Remember, we are in the Ultra League, mine are bulky, and it does huge damage. I now catch the Hydro Cannon successfully on Lapras, and we are in a great spot. Expecting the Registeel to come back in, which it does. Lapras is super thick. Focus Blast does around 70%, so I think the opponent probably will go for 2 Flash Cannons. However, Lock On doesn't do hardly any damage, so we know Charizard will be able to clutch out this game. They have throw immediately. This is going to be the Flash Cannon. It is going to take 2 to take us out. However, we did sneak an Ice Shard, so we might even be able to get to 2 more Surfs. These Surfs do around 30% of the Registeel's HP, as Shadow Lapras does hit really hard. We do get to this last minute Surf. I imagine my switch timer will pop up very shortly, so I'm going to instantly swap into Charizard and look to Dragon Breath down everything. They are throwing their move. We'd probably survive. However, I've got a shield. This is the first game I've ever played. No flexing today. We successfully farm it down. They bring back out the Swampert actually looking to catch. But either way, we take game 1. So off to a 1-0 start. Moving on into game number 2. We pick up a fairly decent lead against the Sylveon. They instantly swap into Giratina. So we chip it slightly with some Dragon Breath and we bring out Lapras. Lapras is a really good answer for Giratina. These Shadow Ice Shards are absolutely shredding it. However, when you're lagging, you're not doing any damage. But we do successfully get to this Ice Beam. If the opponent doesn't shield, this will one-shot. Down goes the Giratina. Back up comes the Sylveon. If I deny a Charm, I'm hoping to get to 2 moves. We do deny the Charm. However, we are now 3 Ice Shards away from the next move. We are deep in the red. Will our best buddy Lapras be able to survive? Unfortunately, it does not. So the fact that we're running a non-XL Pokemon there, you can see where XL does come in handy. However, we're still in a great spot, so I bring out Snorlax. The opponent is staying in, so I imagine they could be running double Charm, so I do shield this up. Even though it is a Side Shock, it wouldn't do too much damage. Now, let's see what they've got in the back. We successfully commit to the lick down, and here you are going to see a misplay. So, first misplay is I should go straight Superpower. I bait with a Body Slam, and you're going to see the opponent calls the bait. So, this isn't fantastic. I now Once again, I'm going to go for the body slam because I don't want to debuff myself. The opponent is building up a lot of energy, so I get the shield here. I now look to get off this last minute superpower, doing as much lick damage as possible. And now I'm going to have to switch out into Charizard. You can see I have got a shield, so the correct play would be to switch out and make them throw both their Hydro Cannons, because any little bit of Dragon Breath damage would be enough to help us win this game. I let it go down, forgetting how low my Snorlax is, and we fall one lick short of getting the victory. So, like you can see there, we do make some misplays, but you should all learn from my mistakes. In game number 3, we pick up a lead against Surfetch. This is something their backline really doesn't want to see. They do throw after 5, so I haven't got to worry about the Brave Bird. This is just going to be a Night Slash. Ouch, it does big damage. They now switch out into a Lapras, so I am going to soften it up with a Blast Burn. Lapras users, especially on the Switch, don't like to shield, much like myself, so it does land, does big damage, and now the play for us is going to be completely commit to the farm down. We are going to have to take a couple of surfs, but I really don't want too much HP on my Snorlax because that Surf Edge is just going to counter us down. Second surf comes through, it will get us quite low, which is exactly what you want. And I should have 2 moves to threaten that Surf Edge. Surf Edge is so glassy, I imagine they are going to have to burn both shields or let it go. I first of all fire off the Body Slam, and then I'm going to debuff myself with a Superpower. We grab the first shield, let's see if the opponent is willing to double shield. This Superpower debuff will mean we'll require less counters to be taken out. And the Surf Edge, I believe now, is 1 counter away from the move. They're now at the move. I decide I'm going to shield this up as I don't want to take any additional counter damage on my Lapras. They switch out into a Cresselia, and now we should be in an alright spot. It will take 3 Grass Knots to KO if they're on that. Let's see what the moveset is. They're on Moonblast, so either way it is still going to take 3 moves, so they're now going to have to go straight Moonblast. They have got enough energy here for a Future Sight, but obviously it is more energy efficient just to go for Moonblast. You can see the Future Sight does really slap, however they're not going to be able to Psycho Cut us down. So the key with Lapras in this scenario is we need to always be well over 1 surf. So when the Surf Edge does come back in, we're able to take it out. You can see I'm now 1 Eye Shard away from the next surf. The opponent looks to catch. This is perfect because I wanted the surf ready for the Surf Edge. Surf comes through, I'm spamming out Charizard. The opponent is going to throw its energy. We can easily now shield this up, and Charizard is going to clutch out this game. So despite seeing a Surf Edge, something our backline really doesn't want to see, we managed to take this game. GG's to the opponent. Moving on into the next battle. We lead our Shadow Charizard into a Giratina. Obviously on Dragon Breath, this is a fairly alright matchup, but as we are ABB, we are going to have to look to switch out at some stage. However, the opponent has switched out for us, we build up some energy, and we switch out into Lapras. They haven't got enough energy for a Stone Edge, so I'm not particularly bothered, it's just a Poison Fang. I am going to go straight for this Surf, so I don't want to get too debuffed. And ideally, I'd love to get some Eye Shard damage on the returning Giratina. Unfortunately, we are going to have to take another move. That Nidoqueen does survive with 1 HP and a Dream, however we do manage to farm down. Let's see what the opponent comes back in with. They're waiting out their timer fully, as obviously that matchup didn't take the full minute. They now come in with a Melmetal. We are double debuffed, so these Thunder Shocks are going to really start to add up. However, Lapras is quite thick and these Surfs do really chunk. You can see it can only take 3. If they don't throw a move, they are going to have to take another Surf. The opponent realises this and dump their energy. However, we're still not out of the woods. Both Snorlax and Charizard don't have a great matchup here. Rockside would one-shot us, so I choose to come in with the Charizard. The opponent is over farming. It looks like they're going for their back-to-back superpowers. They are already quite low, so I'm just going to fire off a Body Slam. The opponent shields it up. At this stage, I've got 2 shields, so I am going to shield up this first move, even if it's a bait. But that's fantastic. They throw straight superpower, so this second superpower we aren't going to have to worry about. It won't do too much. Now it's been 1 stage debuffed. We survive with loads of HP. They now switch out into the Giratina. This is why we built up some energy before switching out into the Nidoqueen matchup, because we've got a Dragon Claw now ready to go. The opponent is going to fire a move. I know Snorlax is the win con for us, so I'm just going to do as much damage as possible. They fire once again, and again, I am going to elect to save my shield. I'm going to put faith in the big boy Snorlax clutching out this game. We are going to have to take 1 move. However, I'm going to look to try and get to the back-to-back Body Slams. I'm not going to shield this up, as Dragon Claw doesn't do too much damage. Snorlax does survive, and we are resisting these Shadow Claws. Back out comes the Melmetal. We're now at the back-to-back Body Slam. The opponent is going to fire a move. However, we have still got our shield. So we can now fire off this first Body Slam, which I imagine should draw the last shield, which it does. And now, just for no reason whatsoever, Body Slam would have KO'd. I go for the OP Superpower, and that is going to be enough to take the game. So we're off to a 3-1 start. We get a nice error. Let's see if we can clutch out a 4-1 in the first ever set using Charizard. Loving the opponent's Team Rocket jumper. You love to see it. But what you don't love to see is a Swampert. This is dreadful. So I'm going to build up some energy. I'm going to really look to try and catch the Hydro Cannon on Lapras. Like I said at the start of the video, I do say switch into Snorlax in all scenarios other than where I can try and catch a resisted move onto my Lapras. They switch out into Umbreon. This isn't a particularly bad matchup for us. However, the fact that we have been chipped with a Hydro Cannon means without committing a shield, I will lose the 0 shield. However, we did sneak an Ice Shard in, so perhaps if I land an Ice Beam, it might be possible to flip this switch. We deny a Snarl, so we are still 1 move ahead of the Umbreon. These Surfs from a Shadow are no joke. You can see it would only take 3 to take them out with the additional Ice Shards. Well, hopefully only 3. We're about to find out. I will beat this Umbreon to the next move. Let's see if we can draw a shield. They are deep in the red. I'm imagining this Surf should be enough to take them out, or they're going to have to shield it up. They actually survive with 1 HP and a Dream. Umbreon is so bulky. I'm going to let this go down. And I'm actually going to come in with Snorlax. The fact that they are resisting Lick means we get a few licks in before they go down. And they now switch out into a Talonflame. So what I'm going to do here is I build up loads of energy and I look to catch the charge move onto Charizard, as essentially Charizard is just going to be sacked in this scenario. I imagine they are going to look to switch out into the Swampert at some stage. I'm going to fire off this Dragon Claw just before they reach a move. Now let's see what the opponent does. They are going to have to Brave Bird us to take us out. I've got no intention of shielding the Charizard. They go Flame Charge once again. And they actually snipe us with Swampert, which is a nice play. However, we're so far ahead on energy with Snorlax. Snorlax should be able to flip this Swampert matchup. Snorlax doesn't have the best matchup here, as obviously Hydro Cannon does hit a lot harder than Body Slam. But we are so far ahead on energy. We can now just shield up absolutely everything and just Body Slam spam for the win. So this second Body Slam once again should draw the opponent's last shield, which it does. We do CMP tie, so once again I am going to shield this move up, and I'm hoping that a Body Slam from the bulky Shadow Snorlax will KO. I actually think it's going to fall short, but we should be able to lick down for the victory. You can see they're not going to make another move. They switch out into Talonflame, which just gives us even more farm. Back out comes the Swampert, and the opponent realises the game is over. So GG's to that opponent, and you can see we go a nice 4-1 in the first set ever using Shadow Charizard. I think I went 13 and 12 overall, so these next battles you are going to see are just some fun battles that I did have with the team, and especially showcasing some big Blast Burns landing. So moving on into the next battle. We see XL Clefable. You can see these Dragon Breaths are heavily resisted. They're doing absolutely nothing. I overfarm just before they get to the Psychic, and I'm going to fire this Blast Burn. If it goes unshielded, I've got absolutely no idea how much it will do, but there you go, it almost one-shots. As I haven't simmed any of these battles, they bank a move and switch out late into Talonflame. So just before they get to their first move, I'm going to start pressuring shields. Talonflame users love to shield. We draw the first shield here. They are going to have to Brave Bird us to take us out. Excuse the phone call, don't mind that. Again, they are going to have to Brave Bird to take us out. The opponent does go for a Flame Charge. So before they get the next move, I'm going to pressure shields once again with Snorlax. At this stage now, I outpace them to the next Body Slam, so the opponent will still have to burn that second shield if they want to maintain alignment, which they do. So now up 2 shields. I'm really wondering how the opponent is going to feel when they see we've got Lapras in the back. So I get the Ice Shard through. I'm going to shield this move up and look to commit to the Ice Shard down. That Ice Shard actually takes them out as they were that low. They've got Cresselia, so this once again isn't the best matchup. I look to try and catch a Grass Knot onto Charizard, which I'm unable to do. They fire a Moonblast though, they don't go Future Sight. They actually combo play into the Clefable, which is a bit of a crazy play, as they probably should just farm us down, as I've got hardly any HP. We're going to be able to come back in, Ice Shard down them, and now with that shield banked, Lapras should have no problem clutching out this game. These Surfs don't do too much damage. Griselio is an absolute unit, but we are now in a great spot. I'm not going to shield this up. Let's see if the opponent did have Grass Knot all along. They do, but you can see that we are still going to be able to take one more, and we've got a shield. So I don't really know why the opponent's staying in, but if they want to play it out, we can do that. I'll go for the overkill of the Ice Beam, and that is going to be enough to take this game. So you can see that Blast Burn in the opening matchup, near one shot an XL Clefable. You absolutely love to see it. Moving on into bonus battle number 2. We pick up a lead against Umbreon. This isn't actually a neutral matchup, as Charizard is so squishy. I am going to have to switch out of this matchup. You can see that these foul plays do huge damage. They actually go last resort. Not entirely sure that is the play. I do look to build up loads of energy. I'm going to commit shield at this stage. They go foul play on the second one. So I'm now over farming quite a lot, and I'm going to fire off a Blast Burn. Let's see if the opponent wants to return the shield. They do not. It does huge damage. I now look to catch the move on Lapras, which we do successfully, and we get 2 Ice Shards through. Shadow Charizard absolutely doesn't care about XL Pokemon in the slightest. It does enormous damage to absolutely everything. They switch out into a Lugia. I'm not sure that is the switch you're looking for, as we are hitting for super effective with these Ice Shards. I don't really have any intention of going for Ice Beam. I want the guaranteed damage on this Lugia. We draw a shield with the Surf, and now we are going to outpace him to the Ice Beam the second time. So let's see if they want to go down 2 shields. They actually double shield, which is fine for us. These Ice Shards are doing huge damage. I can now bring in the Thick Boy Snorlax and look to commit to a Lick Down. We are keeping track of the opponent's energy. It's 9 Dragon Tails for an Aeroblast. I don't want to get hit with the Aeroblast, so we shield this up. They bait with a Sky Attack, but either way now we can tank the next Sky Attack. Stab Sky Attack is a pretty decent move, but Snorlax has loads of HP. We tank that with no problem. They now switch out into a Nidoqueen. So I'm going to tank this move. Obviously I've got no shields, but I mean it's not going to do too much damage. We'll tank this Poison Fang. We're going to look to get off these back-to-back body slams, and hopefully Charizard will be in a position to clutch out this match. The first body slam does do big damage. The second body slam will get it fairly low, and I'm looking now to snipe with Charizard. Unfortunately, we simultaneously KO, which isn't ideal. Umbreon comes back out, and we unfortunately lose this match. But bit of a misplay on my part. But you could see there that Blast Burn does huge damage to the bulky Umbreon, which is why I left it in. And it's always great to show some misplays. I know a lot of content creators love to only show battles where they do well. However, I love to show my noob plays because I think it's good learning experience for everyone else. Speaking of noob plays, once again you're going to see a real noob play. I count just before they get to the back-to-back body slam and the opponent doesn't throw. So we've switched out into Snorlax, and we're going to have to eat a superpower, which obviously isn't great. They're building up to 100 energy. I'm going to already committed 1 shield, but I am going to commit the second shield. I don't want to eat a superpower. We do shield the first one up. The second one will do less damage. We are in a rough spot. Is there any way, down 2 shields, we can come out of this matchup? They switch out into a Sylveon. I'm really hoping to get to back-to-back body slams. We deny a charm. So despite a few misplays, we actually play this bit fairly well, but we are so low on HP, we're not going to be able to actually get to the second one. So I am now going to come in with Charizard. I've got loads of energy. The opponent has 2 shields, so I imagine they think I'm going to try and bait with a Dragon Claw. We go straight for the Blast Burn. It lands, does huge damage. Down goes the Fairy. They switch back out into Snorlax. We farm that down. What is in the back? In the back is a Giratina. This is winnable. They really need to shield these moves up. We get the first shield. We get to another Dragon Claw. Shadow Charizard bailing us out of a rough spot. This should draw the second shield, which it does. And hello Giratina, we've got a surprise. This match is absolutely over. So despite trying to catch a move unsuccessfully in the opening matchup and going down 2 shields, The double tank strategy has bailed us out once again. The Giratina has no chance of taking us out. We're going to get to this Ice Beam, and from half health, this is going to be enough to take that game. So GG's to the opponent. So I think it's much safer. Rather than always looking to catch a move, you should just kind of switch out. But I like to play high risk, high reward. It doesn't always work, and I thought I'd leave that in to show you all. So in this matchup, we pick up a lead against Scrafty. This is fairly decent for us, as obviously we are resisting the counters. Well, it doesn't look like we're resisting counters, as we are taking a lot of damage. I correctly shield a foul play, and I'm going straight for the blast burn. The opponent doesn't shield it. One-shots XL Scrafty. They bring out Mandibuzz. I'm going to reach this next blast burn just before they reach a move. Are they going to shield this move up? They do not. Mandibuzz, again, is an absolute tank. It's already down to half health. In case you're wondering why I'm not switching out, it's because we've seen the counter user in the lead, and Snorlax has a poor matchup with Mandibuzz. I want to rely on my Lapras at all costs. We bring in the Lapras. The opponent throws their charge move, allowing an Ice Shard through. They fire the Dark Pulse. It does hardly anything, and the opponent decides they've had enough of the smoke, and they leave the match. Moving on into the next battle. We see again another Charmer in the lead, so we are going to have to switch out, hoping to draw out the counter user at some stage, but you saw how much that Blast Burn did the last time we saw a Clefable. Let's see if we land it this time. Blast Burn draws the shield. Not fantastic. We switch out into Snorlax. The opponent is going to fire off a move. I am going to decide to shield this up in case it's a stupid double charm team. We do shield up the Psychic. They are still staying in, so I am really starting to wonder what's in the back, as I'd imagine they would switch out at some stage. It looks like they are staying in, so we get to this Body Slam. They're now one charm away from the next move, so I'm going to fire another Body Slam, as I've got no intentions of tanking another move. They look to be quite scared of the Snorlax, so I'm thinking maybe they've got a Ghost in the back. They actually switch out into Empoleon, so that explains why they didn't shield it up. Or switch out, sorry. I fire off this superpower. If the opponent doesn't shield, it will do huge damage. We draw a shield, and once again, I am just going to let Snorlax go down, as Charizard absolutely doesn't want to see this Empoleon. Lapras, again, doesn't have a great matchup, but that additional lick damage is going to really help us out. We are resisting the waterfalls due to water resisting water. They now switch out into a Trevenant. Trevenant, with no shields, doesn't want to see double Legacy Lapras. Here comes the Ice Beam. Ice Beam takes them out. However, this Empoleon still is going to be a problem for us. We are going to have to shield something at some stage, so I decide I'm going to shield this next Drill Peck up. I'm going to look to get off this Surf. We let a Waterfall through, which is dreadful. However, we should still survive one more Drill Peck and get to another Surf. It's going to be really tight. This Drill Peck should leave us really low. Let's see how much it does. It does get us really low, so I'm deciding now I'm just going to look to try and Dragon Breath down. Charizard survives the waterfalls, and this Dragon Claw is going to be enough to take the game. So Charizard is an Empoleon counter confirmed. Actually, it really isn't, but you love to see that sort of victory, because that is one of the hardest answers for Charizard in the meta, as waterfall is ridiculous. So we lead into Lugia. We switch out into Snorlax. We catch the Sky Attack. Let's see what the opponent switches out into. Once again, the opponent is staying. So I am going to fire off this Body Slam before they get to the second Sky Attack. I imagine they're not going to shield, as Lugia is another tank. I'm not going to shield this up either. Sky Attack will get us fairly low. It actually does more damage than I expected. They switch out into a Swampert. I'm really worried that I am going to get Mud Shot down, which would be dreadful. So I'm going to have to switch out, probably into my Lapras. The opponent actually froze though, best case scenario. So Lapras should be in a good position to clutch out this game. I bring in the Lapras now, I'm counting Mud Shots. I imagine they're going to go fire in the Earthquake. I get an Ice Shard through, I shield this move up, hoping it is the Earthquake. They throw a Hydro Cannon, isn't fantastic. At this stage now, as I've been baited, I've decided that I'm going to have to leave Lapras with as much energy as possible. I'm going to have to tank an Earthquake. It does do a lot of damage, but we have a lot of health left. They switch out into Lugia. We farm that down as well. Let's see what's in the back. Can Charizard and 100 energy on Lapras clutch out this game? They bring back out the Swampert. We snipe it with Charizard. They've got an Excadrill in the back. So as I've got so much energy on the Lapras, I am just going to go straight Blast Burn because Excadrill's so squishy. The opponent still hasn't thrown. This second Blast Burn will either grab the shield or take him out. It does huge damage. I think Blast Burn from a Shadow Charizard would probably take out about 6 Excadrills. Probably not 6, but it does huge damage. Excadrill's an absolute glass cannon. So those were the battles featuring Shadow Charizard. We did see some big Blast Burns land overall. I do think it's a great Pokemon. However, in a triple Shadow team, it is quite hard to use as it can't tank any moves. Hydro Cannon does one-shot it. Even a Surf from a non-Shadow Lapras does around 70%, so it is brutally squishy. But if you aren't a Shadow user, I think something like the old Zionic team, Obstagoon, Charizard and Cresselia would be fantastic. So I'd just like to say thanks for watching and I will see you all in the next one.